I mean, the difference in the reaction between this allegation and the allegations against Trump or Brett Kavanaugh is it's just funny. That's the only way to describe it. I mean, this sort of establishment left-wing feminist crowd, which is usually all about believe all women and speaking truth to power and standing up to predatory men who use their power imbalance to exploit women, have been oddly silent on this allegation against Joe Biden, which I would have thought is exactly the example of a predatory man using a power imbalance to exploit a young woman. And it's not an insignificant allegation either. It's really terrible what she has alleged he's done. And so the reaction of these feminists, it was so different when Brett Kavanaugh was on the scene, and that was an even older allegation, 36 years old, with even less corroboration than the allegation by Reade against Biden. And yet they were so sure he was guilty and he was a monster, and anyone who disagreed with them was a rape apologist and a misogynist. And there was the hammering on the Supreme Court door, just like ridiculous levels of hysteria over something that had absolutely no proof attached to it whatsoever. But the reason they did that, Andrew, is because it was politically advantageous for them. They were so desperate to damage Donald Trump and so desperate to prevent a conservative majority on the Supreme Court that they were going with torch and pitchforks any which way they could. But with Joe Biden, of course, who is their favorite pick to be president, oh, no, not a word, because that wouldn't help them out politically.
It's so strange, isn't it? So I guess without the follow-through, I see some media of the left starting to take a little bit of interest. CNN, I think. Do you expect this to become a problem for Biden? If the media won't take it up, who will?
Well, it actually could become a problem for Biden, but as you said, not because of anything the mainstream media does. I mean, take the New York Times, for instance. It was jumping all over the Kavanaugh story, but it took 19 days after Reade made that first allegation to even mention anything about it. And that was before any other mainstream. And it was this cold little article sort of analysing the allegation. It was absolutely ridiculous. But where I think it can become a problem is internally within the Democratic Party, because there is a faction out there that is very aggressive and very noisy and very angry about this, and those are the Bernie Sanders supporters. They are the radicals. There is about to be a big factional split, I think, within the Democratic Party between the radicals and the establishment, who of course support Joe Biden. The Bernie Sanders supporters are furious that, again, their anti-establishment pick has been jilted for some tired old establishment hack, and they are making a lot of noise about the fact that this allegation has been largely ignored by the establishment left and the mainstream media, which is something they surprisingly have in common with Trump supporters.
It's so, with so many tribalists, and people on the left tend to be collectivists, tribalists, whatever you want to call that. It really, what counts is the side and not the principle. So, the catchphrase was, believe every woman. What they didn't tell us was, unless they accuse one of our own. So what is it with presidential candidates of the left and sexual assault and the way they get forgiven? I mean, you had Bill Clinton, a Democrat president, accused of rape, yet he survived and thrived, re-elected, defended all the way by the media left. Why is that?
Well, again, Andrew, for the left, it's all about politics. I mean, there were a number of women who accused Bill Clinton of rape. I mean, Juanita Broderick was the most famous one. And she also accused Hillary Clinton of helping Bill cover it up. There's a really quite a scandalous story there. But again, radio silence from the left, and even, on a smaller scale with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, for instance. I mean, that was consensual, but there was no doubt a power imbalance there as well. But the left was so forgiving of that, and they heaped all the blame onto Monica Lewinsky, ignored the terrible disloyalty of Bill Clinton to Hillary Clinton, and there were feminists at the time who were laughing about it and saying it made them like Bill Clinton even more because they liked the thought of the president, having blood running through his veins. It was really quite perverse. But again, Andrew, these people, they don't actually care about women, they care about politics and power. And the biggest example of that recently is Alyssa Milano. Now, she started the Me Too movement, and she was big on the witch hunt against Kavanaugh, very much believe all women. But not only has she endorsed Joe Biden for president, regardless of this allegation, she went on a podcast, get this, Andrew, a couple of weeks ago and said that she believed in due process, that she hated the thought of innocent men having their lives ruined.
Now it occurs to her.
I know, and the other thing she said was every allegation had to be vetted stringently. I thought, well, this is news to me. I guess it's different when it's a guy you like. Alyssa?